الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تعلم أن الله له ملك السماوات والأرض وما لكم من دون الله من ولي ولا نصير أم تريدون أن تسألوا رسولكم كما سئل موسى من قبل ومن يتبدل الكفر بالإيمان فقد ضل سواء السبيل صدق الله العظيم. Regarding ayat number 107, we have already gone over a few details related to tawakkul and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is very clear is that the system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in this universe, He has created it very meticulous and very punctual. Nothing is out of place, nothing is late. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created everything in accordance to His ilm, His hikmah, His knowledge, His wisdom. And that knowledge and wisdom is perfection or full of perfection. This being a reality, what we understand is that as insan, as human beings, we tend to put our trust in things that are reliable. When something is not reliable, then we don't trust it. And many a times the things that prove their reliability, we rarely ever question why they are so reliable. They have their sense of reliability and we just leave it at that. That much benefit that we can take, we take. We avoid going into the depth of understanding if we don't have to. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ayat number 106 in the previous ayah spoke about mansukh ayat, verses that were abrogated. Sometimes we may get into these details and shaitan, he puts ideas in our minds. Why were these abrogated? Maybe what was abrogated is better than what is given to us. So shaitan will put all types of ideas in our minds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very clearly in a very beautiful format cleared away any kind of doubt or any kind of shak that may come, any type of doubt that may come in relation to the perfection of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a few points very, very clear. Alam ta'alam anna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Don't you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has power over all things. He has the authority to change and abrogate whatever kind of ayat, verses, ahkam, commandments and prohibitions He wants, and He does. He's the only one that has this authority. And He will do it in accordance to His wisdom and His knowledge, which is perfect. Another point that needs to be understood, Alam ta'alam anna Allah lahu mulku samawati wal ard. Coming to ayat number 107, that don't you know that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala belongs the dominion and the kingdom of the heavens and the earth. His authority prevails. He can do whatever He wants to His creation. And He can command His creation to do whatever He wants. And when this is the case, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has complete control over the creation, whatever is in the heavens and the earth, وَمَا لَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِن وَلِيٍّ وَلَا نَصِيرٍ, and you do not have other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala any protector nor any helper. So it should be understood that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He is giving us these ahkam, giving us these laws, these rules and regulations, He is protecting us from that which is harmful for us. Many times we don't understand the harms of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saving us from in relation to giving us this beautiful deen that He has given to us. There's very great harm in the things that we have been prohibited from. Yes, as insan, as human beings, whether we find that harm or we don't find that harm, we are very limited creatures, very limited creation. And because of our limited faculties, because of our limited qualities, we may never be able to understand perfection. And this is obvious because there are many ways to explain perfection, but come to mathematics because they say it is a universal language. In mathematics, there's no formula for infinity. You cannot say this plus this equals infinite. And there's infinite and then there's finite. Whatever numbers you might be able to add up, they're finite. And what is finite can never get to infinite. This is the reality. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is perfect and He is perfection. He's Al-Quddus, He's free of any kind of blemish. He is perfect, subhanallah, this is what we say. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perfect, and because of His perfection, all glory belongs to Him. Everything else in creation, well, we are creation. And everything in creation has deficiency and has defect and is weak. So as insan, as human beings, there are many things we may not understand, and we don't understand. We don't even understand this creation. How are we going to understand the plan of the Creator? So whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He's protecting us from, we should be grateful for those things that He has stopped us and prohibited us from. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's our helper. Min dunillahi min waliyyin wa la nasir. You will not have any helper other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has helped us throughout our lives. One of the many meanings of Rabb, when we say Rabbul Alameen or Rabbil Alameen, throughout our salah, this idea is given to us believers that our yaqeen should be built on the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's our Rabb. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. When we go into ruku, what do we say? Subhana Rabbi al-Azim. We get up from ruku, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana lakal hamd. You go into sajda, Subhana Rabbi al-Ala. The whole salah is full of this idea and this concept, and making us understand and develop this yaqeen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our Rabb. And one of the meanings, this concept, this name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabb, there's many meanings. Rububiyyat Bari ta'ala is a very vast subject. But one of the many meanings is that being that helps His creation from stage to stage and helps them get from one stage to the next stage. Taking something to maturity or to perfection, getting them to the highest level of maturity and to taking them to the end of their lives, helping them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the being that has given us life. And throughout our lives He has created a system through which He helps us get from one stage to the next stage in our lives. And He's the only being that helps us like this. No one else can do this. There's no creation that can do something like this for us. So if this is the case in this dunya, if this is the case in this world, then it is incumbent upon us to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that whatever He has commanded us, that command is for our benefit. Whatever He has prohibited us from, that prohibition is for our protection. This is very clear. And if this is the case in this dunya, then also in the akhirah and the hereafter, we'll have no protector and no helper other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what is tawakkul, understanding, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if this tawakkul is properly established, and it is properly understood, then this tawakkul can be of immense benefit for a believer. But if this tawakkul is deficient and it is not properly understood, then life can become very difficult. Tawakkul means that you do your part and leave the results to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actions are for us to do. Results are in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should not try to get the result. Yes, we should work for the result, but if we don't get any results, we should not give up. It's not that a person is making dua and seeking what he's seeking, and he doesn't get what he wants to give up dua. Or a person is praying salah and he's saying, what is the benefit of this salah? I'm not seeing any benefit in it. Our purpose is not the results. Our purpose is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The results are in the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same thing applies to our sustenance. Whatever might be considered as sustenance, our part is to do the actions. I mean, everybody knows the action. You don't need to tell anybody to go to work on time or to how to run their business. Everybody understands. But the results are in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the results, put your trust in Allah. This is what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us in a very beautiful hadith. لَوْ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ توكلون على الله حق توكله لرزقتم كما ترزق الطير تغدو خماصا وتروح بطانا. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us, لو أنكم كنتم توكلون على الله حق توكله. If you were to have, or if you had trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, حق توكله, as He deserves to be trusted, لرزقتم كما ترزق الطير. In another wording of this hadith, لترزقون كما ترزق الطير, that you will be given sustenance, or you will be sustained as the birds are sustained. تغدو خماسا وتروح بطانا. They go out in the morning with empty bellies, and they come back in the evening with full belly. And they don't have any 9-to-5 job, and they don't have any factories, and they don't have any kind of investments. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them sustenance. Now this doesn't mean that we give up everything. No, we do our part. A man walked into the masjid, so one of the Sahaba told him, go tie your camel. So the man, he said, I have my trust in Allah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him, go tie your camel, then put your trust in Allah. You have to do your part. Because trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is you use the means, and then you leave the results to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not you leave your car wide open, all the doors open, and I have my trust in Allah, no one's going to steal my car. When you go outside, you'll see where your car is. Don't try this. Because you're doing the wrong thing. This is the wrong way of doing. This is the wrong type of trust. This is not what is meant by trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. Don't bring yourself to destruction with your own hands and then say, oh, I have my trust in Allah. This is not the way it should be. There's a fable, a famous, there's a parable that was given in the books of hikmah, the books of wisdom. There was a parable that was given of a man who used to be a woodcutter. In the past, he used to have an axe, and he would go to the forest and he would cut wood. Very hard job. There's a lot of physical labor. Cutting down a tree is a very difficult job. So he used to go, and day and night he was working like this, very tired. So one day he was going in the morning, and in the forest he saw a paralyzed fox. So he thought to himself that, I'm sitting here working all day, I'm tired, and this paralyzed fox is still alive. I'm wondering how this thing is surviving. So he sat down to watch the fox, just checking, how is this fox going to survive. So after some time, there was another hunter animal, some tiger or something that was in the forest, and it had caught a deer or whatever prey it had caught, and it came very close to the fox, and that animal, the tiger or whatever, ate whatever portion of the deer it could, and it went away. And this fox, being paralyzed, very weak, it kind of like crawled over to that deer, whatever was left, and it started eating, and it had its sustenance. So this man had a genius idea. He said, this fox is sitting here doing nothing, and he's getting sustenance, and I'm sitting here working day and night, cutting down these trees, hurting myself. How much effort I'm putting myself through. And this thing, without any job, any work, any effort, is getting sustenance. I can also do this. I'm better than this fox, because Allah has created us as humans. Human is the best creation. So he decided to go to the masjid and just sit there and do dhikr. So one day passed, there was no sustenance. 2 days passed, no sustenance. Third day he made a dua. He said, oh Allah, I've been sitting here doing your dhikr for day and night for 3 days now, and there's nothing for me. So he fell asleep, and in his sleep he was told that, foolish man, you are looking at the fox. You should not be the fox. I have given you many, many bounties and favors. Be like that tiger, that others benefit from you. Don't be like a paralyzed fox where you are depending on others. This is the essence of tawakkul. This is what tawakkul is. The moral of the story is that this person had the wrong type of tawakkul, the wrong type of trust. So similarly, when it comes to trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our part is that when it comes to His commands, even if we don't know that there's any benefit in them, even if we don't know that there's any wisdom behind it, in our knowledge we don't need to know these things. What we need to know, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us, that's it. Even if the whole world gets together and tells us that there's something wrong with this, let them. Now they tell us that, there's a disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder people have. They're obsessed with things. It's a very great obsession. So now the psychiatrists and psychologists are saying, you see these people, they pray 5 times a day, they're obsessed. They say they have this obsession. So this is obsession that somebody's praying 5 times a day, but this is not obsession that you spend 10, 12 hours at work and job and business. This is not obsession. Come on now. Where are you drawing the line? Or the 5 times salah, you put all the time together within less than, if you really push it, 2.5 hours it takes. Not even 1/10 of the day. In 24 hours, if you really take your time, you really make the wudu properly, and you really come to the masjid for every salah, and you really pray every salah with khushu and khudu, and pray nice and slow, and it'll take you about 2.5 hours. We all know our salah. Our salah is faster than FedEx or now the Amazon shipping, mashallah. Our salah is something else. Our salah is like the internet. Not even 1 hour. We put all our 5 times salah together, it doesn't even take 1 hour, in the day. But this is obsession. And this is not obsession that you spend day and night at work, and even overtime you're pushing. This is not obsession. Strange ideas we human beings we come up with. Whatever the world tells us, whatever the creation tells us, the hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the hukum of Allah. Whether we understand the wisdom behind it or not, our job is to put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He knows what is best for us. Very simple. But shaitan, he puts these ideas in our minds. Sometimes always asking questions. They say curiosity killed the cat. Have you ever pondered what this meaning, what this statement actually means? They say the cat has 9 lives. You kill a cat 9 times, you'll be able to kill it. Don't test it, okay? It's animal cruelty, okay? They say cats really have 9 lives. Okay? But they say that cat has 9 lives because of how careful this animal is, how careful this creature is, okay? And they say curiosity even killed the cat. It's always curious, what is this, what is that? At the end, it got him killed. So what they're saying is that we're always asking questions, what is this and what is that? At the end of the day, these doubts will end up consuming you and will make you leave the deen. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the next ayah, in ayat number 108. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they're being addressed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, and this is also indirectly a message for all of us. أَمْ تُرِيدُونَ أَن تَسْأَلُوا رَسُولَكُمْ كَمَا سُئِلَ مُوسَى مِنْ قَبْلِ. That all believers, specifically the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, do you want and do you intend and do you wish to question your Prophet, to question Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كَمَا سُئِلَ مُوسَى مِنْ قَبْلِ. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he was questioned in the past. Look at what the Bani Israel, they were asking. Look what the Yahud and the Jews, they were asking from Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And with all of their questions, were they guided? Did they accept the Iman? All of their strange demands, all of their strange questions, they didn't get hidayah, they didn't get guidance. Why? Because even they got the answers, they were still in doubt. Wise people, what we understand, put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the wisdom behind what you're doing, so alhamdulillah. And if He doesn't, then that means that wisdom is so deep, we lack the intellectual capacity to understand that wisdom. So just be grateful for it. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. Am turidun, or do you want, and do you wish, an tas'alu rasulakum, that you ask Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and you question your Prophet. Kama su'ila Musa min qabl. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was questioned before. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, time and again, has proven his trustworthiness. He has never ever cheated anyone. He never lied to anyone. Has proven his trustworthiness. Why are we questioning the ahkam and the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And we know what kind of question the Bani Israel they had. Very, very strange question. All the way down to they were telling Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, "Lan nu'mina laka hatta nara Allah jahratan." That we will not believe in you until we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly. This is how far they went. When they were told to slaughter the lamb, the calf, the baby cow, what did they do? When they were told to slaughter the Baqarah, the cow, what was it? Their reaction wasn't they got any cow and they slaughtered. Very easy, just go grab any cow, slaughter. Very simple hukum. But what did they do? What is the color of this cow? How is this cow? What kind of cow is it? They turned it into something very, very strange. And at the end, when they even found the cow, with half heart they slaughtered it. So the more we ask questions, the more difficult we make it for ourselves. Islam is simple. Don't make deen difficult for yourself. Ad-deenu yusrun. Deen is simple, it's easy. Famous thing also, yasiru wa la tu'assiru. This is our hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That make things easy, don't make it difficult. Don't make it too easy. We should not make deen so easy that there's no deen left. Okay? There was a man, it's on a lighter note, his pants were very long, So, his pants were long. So he went to his mother he told his mother that, mother and ummi and whatever great, beautiful names he could use to call his mother. He said, my pants are long, can you shorten it for me? So she looked at him. She said, what do you have a sister for? You bothering me with this? Go. So poor man went to his sister and told his sister that, my sister, my ukhti, whatever, my pants are very long, can you make it short? She looked at him. She said, man, we looked for a wife for you, now you're married. You're bothering me with this? What do you have a wife for? The poor man went to his wife and, honey and whatever words he could use. My pants are very long and can you shorten it? So she looked at him. She said, this is what you married me for. Poor man thought, okay, fine. Forget they talk about women rights. So okay, fine. He changed his clothes, put the pants up, went to sleep, said, man, forget about this. So the mother started thinking, my son is so kind to me and he's taking care of me. All he asked such a simple thing. So she went, she got the pants, she shortened it. So the sister started thinking, what a good brother he is. He's so nice. He has never asked me anything. So she went, she shortened it even more. The wife started thinking, what a good husband, always buying me gifts and so nice, so loving. And he asked me this. So she went, she shortened it more. In the morning he went, he had shorts. So sometimes this is what we do with our Islam, We try to find that answer. They try to shorten our Islam, shorten our deen. We make it so easy that there's no deen left. We cut this from Islam and cut that from Islam. In the end, there's no Islam left. We should not be like this. Be careful. Yes, make easy. Deen is easy. Don't make it so easy that it's not deen. Okay? Deen is easy. If you start practicing it, you'll find how easy it is. This is what this hadith means. And when you start practicing, for those like mashallah, those who pray 5 times a day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it so easy. But for those who don't pray, even one salah, كَأَنَّمَا يَسَّعَدُ فِي السَّمَاءِ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so difficult, like they're climbing on a ladder to the heavens, Even one salah becomes so heavy. So deen becomes easy when you start practicing. But when you start asking questions, okay, what is the wisdom behind salah? Why is this salah 2 rakah and that one 4 rakah? Really? This is the kind of questions you want to be asking. These are the kind, why in the Quran these verses were changed? Or why in the Quran this hukum was changed? We don't have this kind of knowledge and wisdom and capacity to understand. Just trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because once you get into this, what will happen? You will leave Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a very, very stern warning. At the ending of ayat number 108, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يَتَبَدَّلِ الْكُفْرَ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. And whosoever changes their belief for disbelief, whosoever leaves Islam, because this is what will happen. You keep questioning why this. And eventually, you'll leave Islam. فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. So you'll go down a very, very terrible path, a misguided path. And this leaving the deen, remember, this irtidad is a very, very terrible thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, وَمَنْ يَرْتَدِدْ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ فَيَمُتْ وَهُوَ كَافِرٌ فَأُولَٰئِكَ حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. And whosoever leaves Islam, وَمَنْ يَرْتَدِدْ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ, whosoever from amongst you does irtidad, they leave this deen of Islam, فَيَمُتْ, and they die in that condition, وَهُوَ كَافِرٌ, and they're in a condition of kufr, of disbelief, أُولَٰئِكَ حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Then all of their good deeds and actions will be wasted and lost in this world and in the hereafter. And for them will be the fire of Jahannam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save and protect all of us. We live in a very, very strange time. Because people are becoming intellectuals, and the nature of intellectuals, ya subhanallah, it's a very strange thing. You want to question everything. There are things that if you question, you will not be able to get to the bottom of it. This intellect, it doesn't have answers. Don't think that through your intellect you can get all the answers in the universe. You will not be able to do it. You have to understand the concept of submission. Submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submitting your will, submitting your intellect, submitting everything about you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you'll be able to taste Islam, you'll be able to taste the beauty of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you're always applying your intellect, and you're always applying these questions, why is this and why is that, then that questions will never end. You will never be guided then. Yes, you should ask about the details of the particular hukum, how to perform it. Not why we're performing it. You should ask, how should I pray salah? Not why am I praying salah? Yes, all we know is that this is a hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's all you need to know. How do I fast? What are the conditions of fast? These are the ahkam. Learn your deen. Study your deen. Understand how to perform the amal. Yes. But you don't always need to know the wisdom behind everything. Sometimes there is no wisdom for us to know. Wisdom is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the reward and the ajr is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you get into these questions and always asking questions, then remember shaitan, he also has a lot of knowledge. And he will put such strange questions in your mind that he will mislead you. And it has happened. Shaitan even challenges many ulama. Don't think that it's not just for the common public. The ulama are also a target of shaitan. And sometimes he confuses, brings such questions, even the ulama don't have an answer. And in the end, all they can say is, you know what? We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the end. It's very famous amongst the writings of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullahi alayhi before he passed away. This was reported about by a few of the mashayikh, a few of the ulama. And some of the very, very great ulama. So they used to tell their students, they want you to document this. This was documented by a few ulama. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullahi alayhi is one of them. There are a few others. Near the ending of his life, he was put in prison because of his aqeedah of the Quran. That's the details for some other time. But this shaykh and also many other ai*imma in mashayikh, they have also reported when they were on their deathbeds, when they were passing away, Imam Malik rahmatullah and a few others, and very, very great mashayikh. So one of the things that they used to tell their students right before they passed away that, shaitan started questioning everything that I learned in my life. He was telling his students, all these ahadith that I have reported to you, all of these teachings that I have given you regarding the fiqh, regarding madhahib. And remember one thing, these ai*imma, they had immense knowledge of hadith. Sometimes we read Bukhari, we think we know hadith. A man came to Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi and he said that, if I have heard and learned 100,000 hadith, can I be a faqih? Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi looked at him and said, no. He said, what about 200,000 hadith? If I've heard and learned 200,000 hadith, can I be a faqih? He said, no. He said, 300,000. He said, no. He said, 400,000. So Imam Malik rahmatullah became quiet. He said, maybe. If I've heard and learned 400,000 hadith, can I be faqih? He said, maybe. He said, what about 500,000, 500,000 hadith? If I've heard and learned, studied 500,000 hadith, can I be faqih? He said, yeah, now we can start having a discussion about fiqh, It's not so simple that people pick up Bukhari and now you become faqih. No, there's a hadith in Bukhari and nullifies all the other hadith out there. No. Fiqh is a very difficult subject. Go study usul al-fiqh and you'll understand what is fiqh. Such a difficult subject. How these fuqaha, what kind of khidmah they've done for us, made Islam easy for us. Otherwise, if it was left to us, how much time do we even have to study really? To be able to extract one hukum from Quran and Sunnah. Very difficult thing. So Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullahi alayhi, so he was telling his students, he said, shaitan came to me, started questioning every single, what about this hadith, what about this hadith, started putting me to doubt in everything. And he said, then in the end, shaitan told me that, do you still believe? What answer do you have? Shaitan, he puts ideas in your mind, subhanallah. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi said, I just told shaitan one thing. I told shaitan that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in the Quran, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. The believers are those who believe in ghaib. They are the ones who are really guided. He said, one thing is clear. I believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and I believe in Allah. You question whatever else you want. This is a discussion for the fiqh and the ulama and mashayikh. As far as me, my iman is clear. I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And there's no doubt in this. There's no doubt in this. He said, then shaitan left me alone. Otherwise, everything else shaitan was putting to. Shaitan, sometimes we don't understand. Shaitan, he was in the company of angels before he became shaitan. The kind of knowledge he has, and the cunning that he has, he can confuse anyone. So be very careful what kind of question when you're always asking why. Yes, study how. Study how to pray salah. Study how to do your business. Study the ahkam of marriage. Study the ahkam of business. Study the ahkam of your day-to-day life. Study the ahkam of fasting, of zakah, of hajj. Study it, yes, how to perform it. When you try to go to the wisdom of why we're doing it, you only need to know one thing. This is a command of Allah. If you go any deeper than that, you'll see how shaitan will misguide you. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us very, very clearly. وَمَنْ يَتَبَدَّلِ الْكُفْرَ بِالْإِيمَانِ Whosoever changes their belief for disbelief for kufr, فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ And this person has gone astray, very far astray. And this is what the munafiqeen and the hypocrites always used to do. They always wanted to know the why. This is what made them hypocrites. They started developing this disease of hypocrisy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save all of us and give all of us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغِ الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين